Welcome back to Digibros. I've been waiting for you, hero.
Hello,
time.
Sheikah.
We're on. It's another episode.
Uh-huh.
Approximately 1 second after the previous one.
Wouldn't
ended.
you love to be like back in time before you knew Sheik was Zelda and like had that magical moment of finding out Sheik was Zelda?
It's funny because a lot of people think it was obvious from the beginning.
I don't know because I was so young and I had it spoiled to me before, like, you know, I was experiencing it. Like that.
I didn't know.
I remember someone telling me when I was playing the game that
I
Sheik
had
was
thought.
Zelda, I think.
I believe I had thought Sheik
or
was a
from
man.
when I watched Boyd play it.
Right, I watched Boyd play it, and I had thought Sheik was a dude up until it was revealed.
Yeah.
I didn't think Tetra would be Zelda. Some people think that was obvious.
Nah.
You
I don't
know,
think so, because it's like, why would you think that it's Zelda?
some people just guessed it right from the beginning.
I guess, if you're like looking for a Zelda.
It's just like, I think whenever someone's like, oh, it was obvious, and then like you realize that no one else thought it was. This happens to me all the time. I guess mysteries in shows and shit like that, you know, so.
I was a kid for both of them, so it's like, obviously I wasn't like looking ahead and thinking about it.
I gotta tell you though, one of my favorite things in the world, and this is a big part of why I've gotten so heavily back into Game Grumps.
Yeah.
And I've watched, at this point, almost everything from the Danny and Aaron era. But I'd watched none of it. Like, I had basically stopped watching Game Grumps very shortly before John left, because I was just burned out on it and I had too much else to watch. And then when it changed...
Just so I don't get stuck here, I was going to make another comment about what was going on in this room. Because, like... We have that magical moment of drawing the sword. We go through this whole, like, explanation of, like, what's going on, what your destiny is. You gotta do all this shit, and it's, like, kind of intense. And then you're put back here, and you have, like, this really soothing song with Sheik just being, like, explaining things to you. And it just feels so cool to me.
That cutscene when we were kids, I remember literally thinking it was over 20 minutes long.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Because it felt so fucking long.
It was so hard to pay attention
to.
Well,
I'd never seen a cutscene like that before in a game. Like, I'd never played a game with a narrative.
You're right. This is probably, like, the first...
This is the first narrative-driven... Like, I'd seen people talk to you in, like Diddy Kong Racing, you run into the genie, he says a few sentences, you know, but, like... This was like, whoa, that was a fucking cutscene, you know? Yeah. And I'd never played an RPG before, because we started on the N64, with the exception of Pokemon, which has almost no dialogue. So, yeah, this was definitely the first time I ever saw a narrative-driven game. Or I guess not driven, but it has a narrative. Yeah. Anyways, what the fuck was I explaining?
You were talking about Game Grumps, how you're getting back into it.
I was getting back into Game Grumps because, I think I was watching it because my channel got taken down, and I like listening to like podcasts and easy stuff to like when I don't want to feel emotional, because music you can easily project emotions onto, but listening to people talk is just like it's like being comforted by your friends, and they don't. It's like being comforted by your friends without having to tell them about your problems. You know. And you can just sit there and listen to people talk and be friendly. And so I was listening to Game Grumps, and I love watching them play like soothing games, like Kirby's Epic Yarn. I could watch that a million times because it's just so, you know, relaxing. And I was watching them play the Wind Waker, and like Danny Sexbang, who is the perfect man, just reacts to everything with the exact level of like whimsy and innocence that you would have like he's just so not cynical about anything, you know. And I mean, it's not that he doesn't have his taste, because he'll if he doesn't like a game, it will immediately be apparent. He'll be like, "Oh God, this is gross. This is making me sick." He doesn't like stuff that's like weird and like dark or like headache inducing. Hates scary stuff. But anything that's like colorful and bright and simple, he loves. Almost all of his favorite games are fucking weird NES games, like weird, terrible NES games, because he played them as a kid and still loves them, you know. But like when they were playing the Wind Waker, you know, something would happen and he'd be like, "Oh my God, it's beautiful," you know, like, and he finds out like Tetra is Zelda, and he's like, "Oh, she's Zelda!" Oh, and I was just like. It was like, you know, you can never relive playing the game for the first time.
But it's nice to see someone else.
Right,
like,
it reaffirms all of your emotions that you had at the time.
Oh my God, I definitely feel that way about a lot of things. Like, I got Hope to read Berserk recently. And
Oh,
then, like,
man.
some of the way she feels about, like, because she didn't like the Golden Age arc at all because it's too,
Really?
it's too violent and depressing
Right,
and, like,
it is-
rapey,
it is
and so it's like I
fucking
knew she wasn't going to enjoy that much, but I was like, you have to get through that, and then I knew she would enjoy the part after that, where it starts to get more positive
rare-
and you get the
like,
magical girls.
the
Well,
only
I really
person-
enjoy that part of the
Right.
story.
Oh, I like it, but you know the Golden
I-
Age arc is fucking god
I enjoy
tier.
that a lot because Guts gets a break, and
Right.
you know he becomes a really great character and he develops really well, and so
Yeah.
her reaction to that is just like my reaction to that, and now she's like loving his like Oyaji Moe like
Right.
guts
Oyaji
going
Moe.
on. Yeah, she's a big Oyaji Moe fan.
Yeah, she's into the old men. She's like Ono from fucking Genshiken. Except I don't think she's into
But yeah.
bald guys. Bald gangsters.
So talking about that has been enjoyable for me. And now
Yeah.
I'm like I need to catch up because she's past me now.
Oh man, who was it recently that I was trying to? Oh, it was Give and Take. I need to get him into fucking Berserk, man.
Oh man.
Because Gibbon loves he loves big epic narratives, and
Yeah.
he's like a huge fan of like One Piece and shit like that. And I'm like, dude, Berserk will be your favorite. Like if you read it, you're going to fucking adore it until you get caught up and have to suffer the misery of 3 years on a boat. But like,
Yeah.
other than that, you'll have a good time. And he's the type who would love that the later section probably even more as well.
See, I like the tragic parts and the others. Like I just love
Right.
all of it completely.
I mean, the Golden Age arc is so great because of
Yeah.
Griffith, you know,
Yeah.
being like the coolest fucking character.
Uh,
By the way,
was
I
that
forgot
say?
to go on this rant in the previous video. This was like the main thing I wanted to talk about that I wanted to do. Like that when this happened, I wanted to do a Digibros video immediately. What the fuck are you playing? This is not Majora's Mask.
There's a song written right there on the,
I know.
the side of the wall. And that's what I just played. But
It's dee doo dee doo doo doo.
yeah, that's what I just played.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. It was. Anyway.
Okay, yeah, that is the Song of Storm.
I thought you had to play a song
You
here.
have to play the you have to play the
Yeah, the Zelda's Lullaby?
it's either that or the Song of Time.
It's so
I think
hard
it's
to
Zelda's
find.
Lullaby. It sounds like you're trying to play the Majora's Mask song. What do you?
All my C buttons are in weird places, so it's like really hard to play the Ocarina.
You decided to put them there.
Yes. Well, it's because I need to be able to use attacks and
It's
strafes at the
Zelda's
same
Lullaby.
time. Yeah, that's not doing anything.
Did you play Zelda's Lullaby?
Let me try it. Because it's not doing a dee-lee-lee when I walk up to it, so... Wait.
You don't have to hold the note for the full duration of the song.
I like to play it right!
I was just like
I do it! I have
keep-
done this my whole life! I always end up playing
the reason
it right
I keep
every
like
time.
getting silent when you're doing that is because it's like so. I'm trying to process why you're doing that. I'm like, why is he holding the note for so long? Is it that hard to
Shit.
press the button? Anyway, this fucking rant that I wanted to go on
Uh-huh.
because it pissed me off so much. You've already heard me talk about this, and I posted about this on Twitter, but I'm fucking mad.
Oh god.
Consoles, they don't work.
Oh yeah,
Consoles
it's a PS2
don't
version or whatever.
fucking work. If it's not Nintendo, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Look, okay. Let me try to run through a history of consoles that I've owned, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. We had our first N64, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it broke,
Uh-huh.
right? It still works, right? Do we still have it?
I don't think we still have it, but I'm not sure.
But it never broke.
Our first GameCube broke.
Let me continue. Our first N64 was a black one. Then we got
Yeah.
the Pikachu one.
Yeah.
I don't know if the black one's still around. I think it is, but I don't think it ever broke. I
There
know
we
we
go.
got the Pikachu one because it was Pikachu.
Uh-huh.
So we have two N64s. I think they both work.
Shit.
I had a Game Boy
fucking
Color.
fire.
The Game Boy Color, I believe, still functions to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Game Boy Advance that still functions to this day. I would have a Game Boy SP that still functions, but someone fucking stole it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we have one somewhere that functions. We have a few Nintendo DSs. A couple of them don't work, but that's because they were like physically broken. They didn't like die. They were like shattered.
Yeah,
you know?
it was like lost in a chair. Someone dropped it and it got destroyed.
So these were like physically destroyed in like an intense enough manner. It's not like you dropped your iPhone and it fucking splintered. It's like they were crushed within the machines of a chair, like an armchair, you know. So they saw they saw a level of damage that I would not consider to be the fault of the console being a piece of shit, right? We had 2 GameCubes. I don't remember what happened to the purple one.
It like overheated or something.
Some
like it got fried.
Some weird shit happened to it. I know that as kids we destroyed everything we owned.
Dude, I'm like 90% sure it overheated.
So whatever happened to it, we got a silver one, right?
Yeah.
The silver one
still
works. It is the most gross-looking piece of shit.
Up, man. That thing has seen some days.
That thing.
It doesn't help that we put so many stickers on it that now it's got like all the sticker residue and shit.
It's got all these like melted stickers.
Definitely
on
had
it.
Stuff spilled on it before.
Oh, it had some
of the buttons are just stuck down because there's like some kind of like shit holding it down.
At some point, an orange soda spilled on it, and like where the fan is, it like spilled into that. Still work. It's like dried on there permanently. It never will come off. It's got like fucking fuzz stuck to it and shit. The reset button
got the motherfucking hook
is stuck down. It doesn't press like it luckily, but it is stuck down. It will not come back up.
Yeah,
like it is fucking glued down.
Something was like spilled on it.
And the console still, even when you open up the lid, the inside is like all dusty and gross and like you can't even clean it. But it still works.
Yes.
Miraculously, it still fucking works after all the shit it's been through.
Son of a bitch.
And I remember the GameCube is considered to be like indestructible, right? Like there was an episode of X-Play once where they took an Xbox, a PS2, and a GameCube, and no matter what they did to the GameCube, they hit it with a sledgehammer, they dropped it from like 15 feet, still fucking worked, right?
Yeah. The classic.
It's beautiful. So then. We got a PS2, a fat one, right? And my first fat PS2 died for reasons I don't understand.
Is that my first heart piece?
And I was told that like playing DVDs and CDs can like somehow damage the laser or something in the original PS2. I don't fucking know. It stopped working, right? The piece of shit stopped working. So then the second fat PS2 I got, this is like the most infuriating shit ever, right? The second fat PS2 I got, I went to a friend's house for a birthday party for 2 nights. Victor's friend came over and somehow convinced Victor to sell him for like $25 the PS2 or something?
No.
Or he borrowed it?
He sold you the PS2.
Okay, no, that's what it was.
And then his mom wanted him to bring it back.
Right, no, that's what it was. Okay, this kid... my PS2 had broken. This kid sells me a PS2 for like $25 or something. And then while I'm gone, he comes over and gets Victor to give it back.
He said his mom was like demanding it back because I guess he didn't ask his mom if he could sell his PS2. But the thing is,
this kid had sold me the PS2 like weeks ago, and I had already bought $200 worth of games for it for my birthday.
Yep.
So like all I own now is a ton of PS2 games, and this kid fucking took it back, and now I have no PS2. So then my parents, you know, they buy me another PS2 because they were like, there's no way we can resolve this situation. So they just buy another one, even though they'd already spent all this money on my birthday. Whatever, we're spoiled, right? So they get me another PS2. So then, like a few months after that, we move into the ghetto, right? And mind you that at this time, I was just, all I cared about was video games, right? I was big into video games, and I just bought all these, like, everything I got for my birthday was like a JRPG, like a long-ass game, right? Like Shadow Hearts Covenant and From the New World and like fucking Shin Megami Tensei probably. I don't know. All these fucking long games, right? And we move into the ghetto and we have no money at this point, right? So I can't even buy games anymore. I'm stuck with what I've got because we are now broke.
Yes.
And
that's where I ended up playing a lot of those PS2 games.
You know, you must not have, because within like a month, the thing fucking died.
I don't remember that.
It did. It fucking died. The third PS2 that I'd owned after this kid took his back, second one we bought, just dies. And I don't know why. And we never figured it out. We never took it back or figured out what to do with it. You know, we were in a new town, I guess, and maybe we didn't have the receipt. My parents were terrible about, like, they never get warranties, never save the receipts of shit. So we'd always, anytime something broke, we just had to fucking get a new one, right? So, which was stupid because they broke enough that we should have been getting warranties. Nowadays, I get warranties because I break shit so much that I know better.
Unless it's like they're like, do you want a warranty on your 3DS game? I'm like, no.
Not on the game.
Nothing's gonna fucking happen to my 3DS game.
But the 3DS itself, maybe.
I might drop it in the toilet.
You know. But, anyways, this fucking PS2 dies within a month of us moving out to the ghetto. And therefore, I could not play all my PS2 games, so I had nothing to fucking do. And I had no money to buy new shit, so we're just playing the same old GameCube games and Xbox games that we've been playing, you know. Like, I just have all these games sitting on my shelf, right? And these are all games that I've still never beaten. They're all on my shelf. I've never beaten them because when I wanted to play them, my PS2 died, and I didn't have anything to fucking replace it, right? Piece of shit console. So then, and I also had...
I gotta figure out this fucking song. I'm like really struggling.
So we had an Xbox, an original Xbox. Still works, I think. The thing had the shittiest controllers ever, and they had like the two parts, and we kept losing the second part to the controllers. Yeah. So we don't have two working Xbox controllers, and the only games worth playing on the Xbox are Halo, Halo 2, Guilty Gear X2, and Dead or Alive 2. All two-player games, and I don't have two functional controllers. Yeah. So my Xbox is meaningless, but that's, you know, that's not the hardware's fault, right? So then, at some point in 2006, we managed to get a slim PS2 and an Xbox 360.
Hold on,
right?
wait, be quiet. Which one's the right door? The music's not changing. Definitely not that one.
That one.
This is like the last... Fuck!
Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, 2015, not having the Lost Woods memorized. Pleb. Anyway, this fucking rant I'm on. God damn it, you killed my energy. Shit! The Xbox 360. What a fucking piece of shit. We get one around the time, like, it just come out. We had, like, Dead Rising and fucking Enchanted Arms.
Oh, God,
was like the second game we got.
Enchanted
That's what it was
fucking
called,
Arms.
right?
Okay, what's the other one? What the fuck?
Which was like some really long, shitty JRPG.
Yeah. It was interesting. I never beat it because it was one of those where you had to grind like fucking hell, and then the battle system got too tedious to like
a shitty fucking JRPG.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one you just went through?
No,
okay,
it's this one.
Okay, here we go. The Xbox 360, Enchanted Arms, Phantasy Star Universe.
What?
Right? We got it for Fantasy. Are you doing something wrong here?
I went through all of them. It was the one the kid was blocking was the one I was supposed to go through.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because he said he wouldn't let me pass because Saria was doing some shit, and then I played him the Saria song, and then he let me pass.
Talk to him again. Oh, he remembers you. Okay, nobody gives a fuck. Maybe you went through the wrong one here.
That's weird. No, why would it?
There you go.
Oh, no. This is just one of those bonus pathways. Where like Doodleby.
Well then, what the fuck?
Fuck my ass. This is fucking not what we want.
No one gives a fuck.
Wait, why are we going to Death Mountain?
The Great Fairy, so you can get whatever the fuck the Great Fairy gives you at this point.
What do I need from the Great Fairy at Death Mountain?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I skipped one. I confused that rock with the other rock.
Ah.
Son of a bitch! I still need to go through the other door.
Okay.
We're getting there. All right, one more time.
Lost track of my fucking Xbox 360 story.
No.
Get your damn foot off my damn chair.
What do I need from the Great Fairy?
I can't. Like, this is like the part where we should be ending the episode, but I'm already halfway through this rant, and I kind of need to finish it. So, anyways, we had Phantasy Star Universe around this time.
Yeah.
The point is, the Xbox 360 fucked up, and it started doing this thing where it would go like, and it would just scratch the shit out of the discs inside of it. Like, leave these circular scratches all over it, and fucking ruined several games. I know it ruined our first copy of Phantasy Star Universe.
Gaiden 2.
That was later. That was way later. We're talking about the first Xbox 360. The first Xbox 360 we got was fucking done within like a month or two, right? It was a piece of shit that started eating our discs. And this was before the red ring was even a thing. So, we had to, like, we tried to take it back, but, like, we had lost the receipt, and, like, already, because I guess, like, we had it or something, and we just thrown it away because we're dumb.
Yeah.
And my dad didn't think to just keep it himself, but, so we had to sell the Xbox 360 back to GameStop, and then pay out the rest to buy a new one. So we had this one for like a while, right? And then it gets the fucking red ring of death eventually. The fucking the curse that comes to all Xbox 360s. Yes. And me at like 15, having never used the phone in my life, call fucking Microsoft because you have to call. Like, if you get a red ring, they will replace your system, but you have to call them and talk to some Indian guy in India with real concept of what your problem is. And I talked to this dude for 45. They are in India when you do that.
Yeah,
they are in the country. I call this dude and talk to him for like 45 minutes. I can barely understand his accent, and just trying to settle the situation. And what they do is they send you a box. And then you put it in the box and mail it to them, and then like a month later, they finally mail you back a new Xbox 360. So we managed to get a new one. And then years later, that one also red rings!
Shit.
The third one! Red ring of death on us! And so we try fixing it. We try wrapping it in towels.
So bad right now.
Because the supposed method is you wrap it in towels if it's red ringed, and then it like melts something, and you leave it on. Like, you wrap it in towels, leave it on for like an hour, and it like melts some shit.
Why is this not working?
And it does work, but it only works like briefly. Dude, just throw bombs at him or something. Jesus Christ.
No, you can hookshot him to death. That's what
but you're failing.
I gotta wait for him to turn around. Anyway, continue your story.
Fucking hell. It's a piece of shit. We did the stupid towel trick, and it works for like half an hour, and then it red rings again. And so we go through all these fucking 360s. Now we don't even have a 360, because after that one died, we were like, fuck it, why would I ever get another one of these?
Yeah.
It's just gonna die again. And at that point, Phantasy Star Online 2 was out. It was like, you know what, Phantasy Star Universe, you're an amazing game, but I've got a replacement, and I just don't want to buy another Xbox 360.
Keep fucking paying a monthly fee for Universe.
Right,
so
for
it's like,
fucking online. Jesus Christ. And Phantasy Star Online 2 is free to play?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Oh my god. These fucking consoles. So, that's the Xbox 360, right? So then we had a PS3 that we got in like 07.
Hey, that broke too.
We had a PS3.
I swear to God, they had a kill switch for those, because like our PS3 and Donson's PS3 both died when the PS4 came out, like right when it came out.
It's amazing.
I was like, dude, it's a fucking kill switch. It's a conspiracy, dude.
We had a PS3, and it died. It didn't get the yellow light of death. Did that happen?
So. I think it just stopped. Like,
our PS3 decided it no longer wanted to live and fucking committed suicide. This was like last year. Our PS3 just goes like, fuck it, I'm done.
Cuckoo, dude. I fucking
now, mind
watched
you,
that shit. It was
I've written.
Insane.
The sad thing is, Devu reminded me this. I had written in the past about how the PS3 was an amazing console because of the Xbox. Because we had times where we literally dropped the PS3 while it was running, and it still played the game.
It was wonderful.
It fell from like a countertop to the floor and continued to play.
My Ninja Gaiden 2 was destroyed when Danson was walking through the room and he stepped too hard. And the game disc bounced out of the fucking track. Yeah, in the 360.
On the 360, literally, our fucking friend Danson is so fucking fat that he walked through the room.
God.
He was like 350 something pounds at the time.
Yeah, he was.
And he fucking walks through it his Godzilla ass walk and literally knocks the game out. The Xbox 360's flat. Or was it flat or standing up?
It was flat.
It was flat on the ground.
Yeah,
and it came
popped
out of
up.
the tray and ruined the game.
Yep.
Ruined the disc. Fucking piece of shit console. The PS3 fell off of a counter and kept playing like nothing had happened. It
Yeah.
didn't even skip. And it still died like a fucking piece of shit. So the PS3 died. And fucking we've got like a playable one because our friend Brando left his with us.
Yeah.
And then our friend Mike, who doesn't have one, keeps taking that one to play fucking Gran Turismo 5 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And so then my friend Josh was like, "Oh, I've got 2 PS3s sitting on the floor doing nothing." I was like,
for some reason, that's
all right,
like 10 of every fucking game console.
give me that one, right? Josh is a huge Xbox guy, right? He came over to our house with his Xbox 360.
Oh, yeah, I
his
forgot.
Xbox 360 that is an R2D2 and makes R2D2 noises when you open and close it.
Yes.
He comes over with it to play Halo, and it red rings right there in our room. First time it had happened to him, he was just like, "Oh my god!"
It was depressing.
Oh my god, it's happened. And you can see his soul. Like you know he's over time he has become disillusioned with Microsoft and with companies. You know,
he was one of those people where I always tell him, you know, my Xbox red ringed, he'd be like, "Oh, it's because you didn't take care of it or some shit like that." I'm like, "No,
Yeah, whatever.
It just fucking randomly red ringed.
Fucking asshole.
It's bullshit."
I mean, at this point, I'm pretty
sucks.
sure he was already disillusioned because he had an Xbox One and he kind of fell out with it because they didn't make any games for it. All it's got is fucking Halo, and the last like 5 games he played were all disappointing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, his 360 red ringed right there in our house. The piece of shit that it was destined to do, its fucking birthright to fucking red ring and die. So
Yes.
so we still had
You cut a mean promo on
we
this
had no
console.
fucking PS2, no fucking Xbox 360. A piece of shit Xbox that has no games. The GameCube still works fine. The Wii works fine. My Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, fucking Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS, all of them work fine. They've been around forever. The Wii U obviously works fine. We have 2 Super Nintendos in our
do.
house that work. Victor,
Our NES doesn't work though.
our NES was given to us broken.
That is true. It was given to us broken.
The
Who knows
NES
what the
I
fuck
got
happened to
from
that.
some kid in like 2005, and it barely worked as it was. So I don't know how that, maybe he didn't take care of it. I have heard NES is somewhat finicky, but the Super Nintendo, we never owned one. Our friend Donson, when we started getting into like buying old games at local places that sold them, he brought over 2 Super Nintendos. I'm pretty sure they both work, right?
Yeah. I know the second one I bought.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So one's ours and one's his. So
Yeah.
we have a working Super Nintendo that we bought and one that he bought. Don-san said that his Super Nintendo was used to hold up a bedpost.
That was my bed. That's
Oh, it was
Did you see
yours,
that? Yeah.
right?
We took
That's
my
right.
bed had broken. One of my bedposts was broken. So I took the Super Nintendo, flipped it on its side, and for like probably over a year, the Super Nintendo held up half of my bed.
The Super
Like-
Nintendo was used as a bedpost, and it still works for a
Yes.
year.
Did not
it was
break.
a fucking
was a
bedpost.
bedpost.
It was held, holding Victor's entire. It was holding the weight of a multitude of fucking Donson and me on the bed at the
yeah.
same time, horse playing, doing shit on the bed, and it still
Not a fucking crack in it, man.
works. Not damaged. It's built like it's literally a steel box. It's plastic steel. It's magical. The Super Nintendo, any game for it, any game works. Anything you put in that motherfucker works. It just turns on. You fucking
does.
put in King of Dragons, Kirby Superstar,
yeah.
Super Metroid. I don't give a fuck. It all runs perfectly. And you put in you put in the fucking the slim PS2 was the last
Yes.
hope. It was okay. I forgot that we do have a PlayStation 1, and I'm pretty sure it works. But I bought the PlayStation 1 in 2005, and I've maybe played it
Yeah, we've
10
never used it,
times.
so.
Because I bought it just for Final Fantasy like 7, 8, and 9, which I played around then. and then I've never touched it since.
How much longer will this rant go on? Because we should.
No,
this would be a good place to cut a new episode.
This is the end of my rant because we're getting to the present day.
Yes.
Because yesterday I was talking to Boyd about video games and how he was talking about just do backflips. That's what I do. That's the whole point of this game. Do backflips and side flips. So me and Boyd are sitting there looking at games and we're talking about the games that he's bought, and I was like, I'm done with buying new games until I've beaten some of the old ones, because I've bought like 4 games in the past 6 months and I've not beaten any of them, right? And I was like, I never beat games. I'm looking over at my collection and I see that like I was literally counting. I'm like, man, I've beaten less than 10 of the like 40 to 50, no, probably 50 to 60 games that I own, right? So I'm like, man, I should beat some of these fucking PS2 games. So I go get the Slim PS2. Now, mind you, our Slim PS2 around a year ago started fucking up where it won't play games regularly, right? You have to flip it upside down.
Yes.
And it will play games.
We have to flip it upside down.
You literally, it's a Slim PS2.
Don't know
so
why.
It's flat on both sides.
It won't read the disc unless you turn it upside down.
It won't read the disc, but if you flip it, it would work. And it worked like that for like a year. But
Longer
now
than a year, probably.
it's finally stopped. It just doesn't work now.
Did you try hitting it?
It will work if you put stuff on top of it at a certain angle, but then it'll only work for so long.
Yeah.
Like it just stops reading the disc. It stops being able to. I don't know what the fuck. It's probably just too loose. It's just an old piece of shit. It's been around since 2006. It's 2 console generations old. It sucks, and it's fucking failed me. I have all these games that I've never beaten because when I bought them, my PS2 died, and now that I want to play them again, my PS2 died again. So I had to download a fucking emulator on my computer and start downloading the games that I own physical copies of, and I had to wait. I wanted to play Xenosaga Episode 1. That's all I wanted. Xenosaga Episode 1 is 6.5 gigs.
Oh
my connection is a piece of shit. It took me all night to download, so I had to sit there and watch these guys play fucking Pokemon cards instead of playing my fucking PlayStation 2. Piece of shit console. Fuck all the consoles that aren't made by Nintendo. They're shit. Don't buy them. Emulate, Steam, fuck them. Buy physical copies of the games so that you can support the content creators if the game does not have a downloadable version. But don't even bother with the console. Buy the physical copy of the game, put it in your computer, and emulate the fucking thing. Jesus. That's it for this episode.
Broke. Oh shit.
Why? Wait, what, did it really break?
I can't.
Right. Welcome to another episode of Digibro.
No, don't start the next episode. I can't move.
Victor can't move. What happened?
I don't know. The stick's not working.
You're not plugged in, are you?
I am plugged in. I'm doing other shit.
What the fuck? Right,
the analog stick broke.